Yo, 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 yo. I want to salute my good people who've been supporting me throughout and make sure that this channel goes out the way it should. I salute you. I appreciate you. Listen, I'm not going to name names right here and be calling you. You know yourself. Those of you who subscribe, you know yourself. So this is for you. Thank you so much. You're much appreciated. Okay, I'll drink to that. Salute. Now then, let's get down to it. Today's topic is about the day England fell. Now, I know a lot of people have actually encouraged me and spoken to me that I need to make a program about this. So I'm not going to let them down. I've come up now. So your part is to listen and watch it. So I'm doing my part. You do your part. Make sure you sit down and watch this. And let's talk about this. Okay? Now, without much ado, I'm going to go into it. First of all, I want to salute the players, all of you who did so well, like, Luke Shaw, who scored the goal, Jordan Pickford, good goalkeeper. You did your very best to keep 2 goals out, and during the play, you did your very best. I appreciate that, much appreciated. Thank you so much. Harry Maguire, you were strong, man. I appreciate that. You scored your penalty as well. Very well done. Nathan Phillips, one of the most formidable men, man to watch. Okay, if any of you out there you play mid center field, that's the man to watch. He's strong. He has no regard for any opposition, and that's why most strikers see him, they try to avoid him because he was a pillar right there, man. You are the man. I appreciate you, man. And also, I want to talk about, I appreciate, Raheem Sterling as well. Right? Saying you stayed steadfast, like you always play. You never gave up, man. In spite of your mistakes, man, you never gave up, I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so very, very much. Keep that good work going, okay? Now, then I want to thank Mr. See, you're choking me now. You're choking me, people, because I'm so upset, you see? Yeah. To Southgate, I want to thank you as well because, like, you brought freshness, and, cohesiveness into this team. You made it a multiracial, a very diverse team. Now we have a team we can be proud of. You brought different talents. You show to the English people that talents are not only found in amongst white people. It can be found in other race, other, creed, whatever they might be. You brought them in to play. Remember, all you bigots and racist, and chatting all your nonsense about it. I tell you, calm yourself right down. If you want to hear the truth, come right with me. That's what we are after here. It's not about the one with the loudest mouth or the biggest mouth full of chips. Stop that shit. Okay? Real men evaluate the situation. Don't just talk because other people are talking. Be sensible. What really happened? Okay? You saw how Mr. Southgate has brought this team together because his eyes has opened. It's seen how it's done, in the continent, and all worldwide. The Americans do it. They bring only the finest, the very best to play, and that's why each time they present a team is formidable. Okay? The Germans do it as well. Okay? The Danish team, they do it. Netherlands, they do it. France, they do it. You see, this is why these are some of the fearsome teams. Spanish people, they do it. You see, they get the very best. So England was the one that was lagging behind, and hence most of their predecessors, the older teams before them, they never made it to the finals. Okay? Because it was full of nepotism. It was full of favoritism. Now, Gareth Southgate has changed that, and so I really appreciate you for that, for having that common sense, that bigness of mind, okay, to do this. Very well done. Now we go into this rematch. On the day of the match, why England fell on that day, what really happened, okay? Now then, you started really well first half, and hence you were playing with determination. You were playing with the promise that you were going to bring this cup to your people who have waited 55 years plus to see this glory. And we were almost there, and hence within 2 minutes you scored a goal. Bang! You stunned the Italians. Yes, baby! That was the way to go, and we're also glad. Yeah, it's coming home. It's coming home. We all started shouting. We shouted, and chanted. Now then, the Italians were watching this. They were still surprised. Damn, they're trying to recover. They're trying to recover after hit them hard. But second half, what happened? You forgot. Okay? You forgot your balls in the changing room, ballers. You forgot that you were playing. There was a second half. First half did not finish the match. If you carried on with that determination and zeal the first half, I tell you, by the time it came to second half, you would have been 3 goals up. But you did not utilize your opportunities. You were busy starting to play with yourselves at the back, passing the ball back and forth to yourselves, to your friends, okay, along the left axis. What happened to the right axis? You forgot all about it, okay? And hence the Italians woke up. And they woke up and said, whoa, what happened here? You know what? These guys are jokers. They were waiting for you. They were scared you were going to score on that goal. When you did not, and you started to play with the ball, being defensive, like some of the commentators have said on BBC One on the day after, you were joking. You were playing. And then they decided to bring the fight to you. Say, listen, man, let's jump these guys because they are jokers, man. Then they jump you. And Puccini, bang, he took the opportunity. And guess what? I'm talking about attack. If you look at the match, I dare you go and watch it. Harry Kane was in the goal line. And Harry Kane did not have the foresight to attack when he was standing all by himself. What was he waiting? What was he attacking? He could not read the mind of Mr. Puccini, what he was going to do. He could have saved that goal. But because he didn't have the presence of mind, he was confused, looking everywhere. He lost the opportunity, and hence it's called an equalizer. Okay, still moving forward, I can understand the boys are tired playing as they do, and just trying to do their very best. Anybody one can understand that. However, that's when the manager will step in and change the game. If you're tired, take you out. Harry Kane was essentially tired. He was lagging. Most times he would run like so to a defender. Oh, they pass the ball. They were quite happy to play with Harry Kane all day. Instead of him disgracing, he forgot that the expectation of the nation was upon his shoulders. And he did not do what he needed to do. Okay? They were playing with Harry Kane at the front. I dare anyone to tell me, go and watch that match and tell me that Harry Kane did enough in terms of tackling compared to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling would run back with determination and try to actually engage physically with the players. Harry Kane never engaged. Okay? There are very, 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 very few times that he did, and he unsuccessfully fell down and never took the ball. He could not stand on his feet. Okay? And you was weak. Now, all that can happen because you're tired. But the manager should have come in. What was the manager doing? He was thinking about it. Compare Mr. Southgate to, the Italian manager. Very quickly, he changed almost half of his squad. Very, very quickly. So you have a whole new game, a whole new power injected into, the stream. What was Harry Southgate doing? Southgate put his hand in his pocket, was watching. What were you waiting for, man? A God to give you an inspiration? Yeah? You need to open your eyes. Listen, if you can't see the game well next time, get yourself a pair of binoculars so you can see. You still there, you could not read the game. And you had your assistant and you could not read the game. That was a shame. And hence your opponent was doing better. He was hurrying quickly. Oh, he's slipping. Going. Oh, he's slipping. Going 2. Oh, he's slipping. Going 3. And you were busy being an English gentleman with your hand in your pocket and watching your boys suffer. Your boys played 90 minutes plus. Don't you think they'll be tired? And you know what, Mr. Southgate? You had the boys. You had the tools to do this shit. You had the boys who could play to change them. You did not. How can you see good players like Marcus Rashford on the bench and watch the other boys struggle? They didn't need to struggle. It was your fault that the team failed. This match did not need to go to extra time. It didn't even need to go to penalty shootout. It was your fault, Mr. Southgate. And you have to accept that it was your fault. This is why the boys lost. And hence all this racist bullshit going all over the place. Yeah, you brought this racist chant and racism all over again because you refuse to do your job, and you should go to the press and raise your hand up and beg the nation and say, this is all your fault because you were paid to do that. to read the game and change the game, and you did not. And your counterpart did all of that. He changed all his mates. As a matter of fact, most commentators were waiting. Hang on, Mr. Rashford is warming up. Yes, is he coming in? You waited until extra time. If it were you, will you play? If you had asked me to play extra time, I will knock you out. Boom, that's right. You know, you disrespected the man, Mr. Rashford, to sit on the seat. You know, okay, well, if the English team had won the match, you know, within 90 minutes, so that means Mr. Rashford would not have played at all. How can you not feature Mr. Rashford? How can you not do that? And when you will feature him, you did not change Kane. What were you waiting? What were you scared of? That the nation is going to crucify you when you change the game? Remember, you forgot that we're after goals. It's not after personality. It was after goals. We wanted the goal. It don't matter who brought the goal. Okay? Maybe you were trying to protect Mr. Kane. I don't know what you were scared of, but I'll tell you, a little story about me. I was growing up playing, primary school football. I was the darling of my manager. As the head of the team. Any challenge, he will always feature me. And it got into my head. I know my place was always assured. But one time, I was really slacking. I was really tired, taking on my head that I'm all there. He pulled me out. I couldn't believe it. And I went to him after the game. How can you pull me out? And he would not even say anything to me. He waited till the match was over. And he said to me, he said, you know what? Next time, you are going to pick up orange peels all over the field. While my mates were playing, I was made to be picking orange peels from the field, from the ground. And that taught me a lesson that I was not bigger than the team. It taught me to be harder next time. And it taught the other group to take their team seriously, because anyone could be changed anytime. If you had that discipline, if you've not had it yet, I encourage you to put that in your agenda, how you deal with the boys. You should be a respecter of no one, like Sir Alex Ferguson was doing. He did not respect nobody, okay? Even he had to see David Beckham at some point, okay? Or Ruud van Nistelrooy. He sat them down. So you could have changed Harry Kane. You did not. Harry Kane was a problem there. He was a weak link there, okay? And look at my man, Raheem. What were you doing at second half? Did you even talk to your boys to feed Raheem Sterling with ball, to change the dynamics of the game, crossing over to the right side of the plane along the touchline to the left? Did you encourage them to attack harder? What did you say to them? I would like to know. I would like to know what you said to them, because obviously it didn't look like you said anything, because the game did not change. Okay? There was no force. As a matter of fact, you were not even present at all second half. Now, let's talk about penalty shootout. I know Mr. Alan Shearer came on, one of Alan Shearer, man, I respect you, man. You are one of the most prolific, goal scorer in England. And Ian Wright, you also made a comment, one of the best Arsenal, strikers in England, ever lived. I appreciate you, like Lineker, the best English gentleman in football. I appreciate all of y'all. But Alan Shearer, I know you were trying to defend Mr. Southgate. Yes, it is, we can defend him because he's done well, more than any manager could have. Okay? But you said that selecting the boys who took penalty was on their own volition. They elected to play, to hit the ball or to take the penalty. That could be right, because I'm not playing championship football. I don't know how y'all do your thing, but what I would say is I disagree with you, sir, with due respect, because as a manager, no matter how much you think you can do it, on the day, if you develop goosebumps, yeah, is that what you call it? Goosebumps, excuse me. Or on the day you look like you're pissing in your pants like Saka was, I would take it from you. I would choose somebody who was more determined, more forthright, and was determined, yeah, I'm going to get them. It don't matter if he's a defender, let him come play. So the idea of you waiting a whole time and change Rashford at the end just to play for 1 minute was an insult. You insulted the man. You killed his spirit. Okay? So there was no way he was going to be able, and he was not very well warmed up. How can he take a penalty? You shouldn't have chosen Mr. Rashford. You shouldn't at all. You shouldn't have chosen Marcus Rashford. That was a no-no, number one. Two, Saka was so scared of himself. You can tell from his eyes as a good manager. I dare anyone to watch that match again and tell me that these people, they chose themselves. They did not. You chose them. You walked over, you went to Saka and said, Saka, you are you're one of the people taking the penalty. Okay? And you didn't look at the man's eyes. You should bring a lot of psychology into this. Look at your man, read their body language, see if they can take it. All the Italians wanted to take it. They were quite willing. They were ready to take them, take the penalty. But from the English side, weren't. And should have changed them. I say last minute, but during the second half, you could have told them what's going to happen if you go into, or even when you went to extra time, you could have told them who's like to take the penalty. Okay? So you again failed to choose the right people to take the penalty. Even though you say they have been practicing. Seriously, if those guys have been practicing penalty, come on, let's face it, it was the worst penalty kick I've ever seen. Yeah? Are you telling me that's what they've been practicing? Then you are a joke, Mr. Southgate. If that's all you've been putting them to practice, that's all they can give to us, don't blame the boys. Blame the manager. Because they were not good enough to take penalty. You could have chosen other people. So if that's the finest England can produce to take penalty, then we need a lot of work, my friend, moving forward. Okay? So I know, the commentators did not say as it is. I was being disappointed that they were trying to paint it and they were trying to cover you up. There should be no cover up, When people don't perform, you should say something about it, how we need to move forward. If we're moving this team forward, we need to do better than that. Okay? Manager Southgate, you have done really, really well. But in terms of execution, you need to be more focused. I want you to read your men very well, physically, okay, and psychologically. See their state of mind and see how you can engage them. You've chosen the right people. You hired the people. Unfortunately, you took the tools, okay, to work, and you could not perform on the day. That was a shame. You could not perform on the day. So I'm going to encourage all of you, okay, to try and subscribe. Pass this on to whoever has not seen it. Let them see it and, watch the match. We're going to be talking about a lot of interesting stuff here, topical matter. This is where you get it. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Until I see you next time, this has been Mr. Classic 921 saying have a nice day. Arrivederci. Aye.